This is the Red All Over reaction show to last night's 2-1 win down at Sixfields Stadium against Northampton Town. Two back-to-back away wins, 1 goal conceded and 3 scored. So we're going to look at yesterday's game and then also going to look forward to the weekend as we welcome Lincoln City to Oakwell. So let's get stuck into it. There we go. Song's done. So, Andy, 2 back-to-back wins, obviously beating Rotherham at the weekend and then Northampton last night. A bit of a weird one, really. A fairly content performance, not really troubled too much, and a lot of making his own problems. Which, if there's not been 45 minutes of summer past season, I think that second half just about did it.
Yeah, it was a strange game. I thought Northampton started well. They did a lot of long balls over the top and round the back and what have you. I think that was their game plan, and we handled it well. But we didn't. Right at the start, we didn't make much ground. But after about 10 minutes or so, we started to play ourselves into the game, and became dominant in my view, and we're looking pretty good. Clear for me. I don't care. I watched it on Sky. Don't care what Sky commentators say. It were a penalty on Adam Phillips. There's no way that kid got the ball. And they're saying, well, it were a foul, but I think it were outside box. I don't care what Sky think. It were inside box. It were a penalty. It weren't even a free kick given. So I think that were awful, awful officiating from the people watching. Funnily enough, rarely happens. So yeah, I thought we got back into it and did all right. I think defended well, and I think Josh Earl had a bit of stick of us. He put a lovely cross pass to DKD, who the player went as though he were going to edit and then backed off him. He controlled ball beautifully, took it inside, took it inside, took it inside. Get in, have that. What a goal that was. Have it. Nice and easy. 36 minutes, nice and easy. So we were looking quite comfortable, I thought. 1-0. Didn't seem to be troubling as much. They had the moments, but didn't really trouble us a lot. I thought defence were pretty strong. Second half, we come out and we were comfortable. And then Humphreys, I don't think had the greatest of games. I mean, I've read some stuff about that he put his centre about. I don't think particularly he did. But for our second goal, he got the ball, flicked it to our players' head, controlled it, and then put it on to DKD, and we know what he's going to do. He's going to bring it in a couple of steps and put it into the far corner, which is exactly what he did. Lovely goal. 2-0 up, nice and easy. We were in control. They're bits at game and what have you, but I don't think it was a great problem to us. I thought, this is it. 2-0, another clean sheet, 2-0, until we decide, as we have been wont to do at times this season, shot ourselves into the foot late on. So we're about, I'm going to say about 12 minutes to go, but therein lies another tale. So on 78 minutes, Corey, who's can't do right for doing wrong with referee, their player jumps over him to head a ball. Corey just stands there and he gets a free kick against him. Then he goes forward with ball and bloke pushes him in the middle of his back. Nothing. Not buying a free kick from anybody, him. All of a sudden he does what I think is possibly the pappiest pass back I've seen for ages. It was silly, and then just thought, and just ambled back. Good block to start with, and then it's gone out, and we've tried to block it, but they've put it in. So it happens, doesn't it? But it's happening too often, individual mistakes, and it were a howler of a mistake, and he paid the penalty for it because he was substituted straight away. And Lembikisa came on, and thought he did all right. So it's 2-1, and I'm thinking, well, they've not particularly troubled us. We've gifted them a goal, but they've not really troubled us. And then Mile decides to do, depending how you view it, a bit reckless. I thought he might have got the ball, might not have done, but I don't think it were a sending off. It were a bit like Roberts. It were a bit of a nonsense tackle, I think, right on unnecessary rather than nonsense. Unnecessary tackle right on the touchline. Give the referee something to decide, and we know what he's going to decide. So he gets sent off unfairly. I think we're just referee didn't give himself chance. He straight over card straight out. He was running over straight off. Thought that were more than a bit harsh with what we've seen against us over the last number of games. and then it's back to the wall. Uh, Brought on McCarthy, who I thought did all right when he came on, and we looked pretty solid apart from the occasional bit, though, apart from the occasional bit. Um, I thought we looked all right. They had a few moments. We had a few moments. Johnny Russell doing what he normally does, gets on the end of the thing with a good header, straight at goalkeeper. Um, and then 9 minutes to go with the 10 minutes against Rotherham. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't just. I wonder if Northampton had been winning 2-1 if we'd have had 9 minutes. But that's a conspiracy theory all on its own. I think not. But yeah, held out, did well. But we made it hard. 2-0 coasting, 2-1 struggling and hanging on and hanging on. And why do we put ourselves under such pressure? I just don't know.
Yeah, it was one of those. Al, obviously, with the manner of the goal that we did concede, it just feels like Groundhog Day. Northampton have not really had to do much to get themselves right back into it, and then that last 10 minutes that turned into 22 minutes, whatever it ended up being, it was backs against the wall with the occasional break going forward because we've now put ourselves in this position. And funnily enough, against Northampton, they managed to turn it round from 2-0 down to 2-2 in about 5 minutes when we played them at home this season. So, again, through mistakes of our own.
It is, and I feel for Jackson Smith for his first, his league debut for us. He should have had a clean sheet. We aren't that, pappy back pass. He should have had weight in it and should have cleared it. And as I say, I don't think it was his best performance again. We ground out a result, and for me, Mark Roberts, as he was at Rotherham, were immense in middle at defence. He won everything yet again. 2 good goals by DKD, and I don't think we should have conceded. But then after they scored, we decided to put men behind ball, and we didn't get over halfway line, and we let them come at us. I think best form of defence is attack, and we didn't do that. And we were lucky not to concede when it rebounded off Earl and just went past left-hand post. We got away with one. So, it's another 3 points, ground out 3 points. Who would have thought we'd have won 2 games in 4 days, but we have done. And it's looking rosy, but the performance is still not there for me. It's still missing in certain areas. But you take it, you accept it, and we move on, and we look forward to Saturday.
Yeah, it is one of those, Craig. It's not a performance of a consistent side that had troubled the top 6 necessarily. It was a little bit of scrappy, which there's always 2 ways to look at those kind of results. Of at least we've managed to grind it out, especially at other parts of the season where we've really struggled to grind out those kind of results, and now we're starting. Well, we finally started to do that on end of February. We started getting those results in. But there's 2 ways to look at it. A decent side does manage to grind them results out, or the other side of not a great performance. Is it a little bit of luck and that bit of quality that had been missing over the last few games, such as DKD's first goal where he's lashed it past keeper that's been missing?
Yeah, I think personally there've been the 2 games that we played, we've not looked great. We've looked passable. I think we've had areas of the game yesterday we looked to dominate, but yet again we shot a Senate foot from a comfortable position. Then it made it a very uncomfortable last 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was we added on time. First 10 minutes of the game, I thought we were shocking. I actually count. I think we went over halfway line 3 times in that first 10, 15 minutes. We did nothing. We were just defending. I don't think his midfield played particularly well in this game. But saying that, I thought, again, Roberts, absolutely outstanding. Consummate professional. Got his head to everything. Earl had a good game. Dejivine, moment of madness. Again, you don't give a referee a decision to make. No need for that. There was no need to go in. It was edge area. It won't go in anywhere. And he just threw his son in. And I think the crowd had an element into it Every time we did a foul, they were shouting off, 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 no matter how hard it were all not. So I think he just got sick of hearing them and thought, right, I'll give you one. You know, I don't know if we're going to appeal it or whatever, but it'll not be in time for weekend probably. So, but
Well,
yeah,
if we appeal it, he'll be able to play this weekend.
well, we'll see. We'll see.
This will be suspended. You know,
The thing is now though with appeals is if you're unsuccessful, you get an extra game added onto
you
it.
can get extra.
So it's
Get an extra one, he goes from 3 to 4. But what got
Yeah.
with MDG without throwing when he threw it into our penalty area? Why do you throw?
Stop doing them. Stop doing it.
Why do you do that? It put us under pressure and we nearly ended up.
It is. I thought Jackson Smith as well in first half when they got a free kick. He throws the ball in the air. Their player stands in front of his kicking foot. Yeah. So he has to then try and grab the ball again. Right? For me, is impeding him. And that should have been a free kick to us.
Well, they did it twice, Craig.
But they did it all game. After that happened, I was watching him, and every time there were a corner or a free kick or something, he'd get the ball in his hands, and the player would automatically jump in front of him and just walk. And obviously, you know, you can't allow. I'd have made a big fuss about that if I would. You know what I'd have done? I'd have let ball, it flew, and I'd have kicked him right up the jacksie. That's what I'd have done. If you're going to stand in front of me when I want to leather this ball, you're going to feel it. Right? Because it's his own fault he was stood there. But yeah, again, it's we're making hard work at teams that shouldn't be hard to beat. You know, I thought their goalkeeper for DKD's goal, I thought that was horrible goalkeeping. The ball wasn't even in the corner. You know, if that had been my goalkeeper, I'd have been on here screaming about it. It would a bad attempt at a save. Second goal is just what DKD's been doing since he got here. He gets that ball, whips it to just under goalkeeper's arms. You know, it was right into corner net. He's a really good finisher, DKD, and I'd hate to think we were where we are him. You know, him and Phillips. You know, Phillips I thought had a semi-decent game. For me, he don't get involved enough. He needs to run about a bit more. You know, he's fine with pressing and everything, but when we're in possession, I don't see him trying to break past the front two like he used to, and he used to be so good at, and then we used to be able to chip ball over to him. You know, he don't seem to do that as much. But it's a win, and it buys Clark more time. I want to see us be able to beat teams in and around us now, and this Lincoln game coming up could be that match I'm looking for.
Yeah, it has been a little bit of a weird month or so, Andy, with obviously the results not being great and sort of the huge fall off really from what we saw sort of just after Christmas and just before the New Year, and then again picking up two wins away from home. Not necessarily tricky games as such, but obviously Rotherham, South Yorkshire Derby, a little bit one of those that can kind of go either way. And then again, Northampton, a banana skin earlier on in the season, that seems to have turned a bit of a corner since Kevin Nolan's come in and look a little bit more dangerous in their sense. Which I think that's a game. If we played it 3 weeks ago, we're coming away with nothing from it.
Yeah, all gets a bit daft, doesn't it? 4 games winning on the trot, then 6 games we are to win, 5 defeats and 1 draw, and then 2 wins on the trot. It's topsy-turvy. Hopefully, it's up at the top of topsy-turvy, and we continue for the next few weeks, and then it's the hope that kills you, Josh. And now 10 points clear, and I'm looking down the table and thinking, let's hope we can get some points, you know, the occasional point, because as Alan said a week or so ago, don't know where the next win's coming from. He needs to keep saying it because we've won two on trot since Al said that. So
reverse psychology.
It's like a reverse Nostradamus. It's Alan. Or Alan says, opposite happens, which is a good thing. So we would do a lot better, as we did at Rotherham, a lot better if we cut out these stupid individual mistakes that we don't need to make. You know, there's so many that are just ridiculous. Get the ball clear. Don't muck about trying to, there's no need when there's players about, and when O'Keefe were going to pass it back, they've got a player coming in as well. I'm thinking, don't pass it back to him. There's a player coming in. You're just going to put him under immense pressure. Well, it is. He didn't even. He must have kicked it about a yard. It can happen, but it's happening too frequently with too many players in our defence, and it spoils all the good work they've done. It's that because he didn't have a bad game apart from that, but it just spoils it. Mile had a good game, but then he does a rash challenge, and as Craig says, gives the referee a decision to make, and you know what decision he's going to make. The only thing that worried me right at the end, their goalie's come up for a corner and it's all mishmash. And Johnny Russell's holding one of their players' shirts. Referee pulls them both together, starts turning them off, and I'm thinking it's Russell holding his shirt. They go away, and he's holding his shirt again. I think he's gained this soft sod the chance to get a penalty against us with last kick at match. Get your hands off him. And anyway, he didn't get it.
You only got him in a headlock. What's wrong with that?
Just thought,
contact sport.
Just get on with that. Just get on with it. It's we know this referee couldn't wait to send Mile off. He couldn't wait to give him a free kick at the edge of the box. He couldn't wait to give him free kicks when they flopped down. Not the other way, but when they flopped down. Tough job. I know, a tough job. But yet again, not good enough. Tough job, but not good enough.
Just do it right. That's all. That's all it needs to be done. Just do it right.
I can just cope. Well, I can't really, but I'm going to say I can just cope with a referee being crap, because sometimes referees aren't very good. Sometimes they have off days, but it's more balanced than that. You can't. I don't know what it is about us on the pitch that, and especially Corey, that seems to be winding referees up more than other players, because they can't buy a decision no matter what happens.
I'm sorry, but he kept flopping again. Did you all watch?
But
it flops to the floor. It doesn't look
so
believable.
Did Northampton. So did Northampton.
No, they're not as bad as Corey. He is the worst I've seen it doing.
He was running forward last night, and they're running forward, and their player literally ran it and gave an almighty push it middle at back, and down he went, play on. That's just pathetic. Adam Phillips, with any referee, can't buy a penalty. No matter how many chances he gets to have a penalty, he's not getting one. And that's beyond incompetence. That's pathetic refereeing. Tough job though.
It's a tough job. Al, looking on the more positive side, you mentioned it earlier, Mark Roberts sort of coming back into that defensive line. I still do stand by the decision of I wouldn't have played for the rest of the season after that sending off against Wickham. But he has come back in, and he's been that defender that we've sort of wanted him to be all season, of the one that seems to gel everything together, and he's doing the more unattractive side of defending, of heading, kicking, tackling. I think Doug put the stats up of clearances and headers won last night. I think it was 15 headers won and 20 clearances, some silly stats like that of everything that came near him, he won, he headed it. It's probably the only time this season where we've had corners against us and I felt comfortable of, I think we'll deal with this, rather than something might happen of it's going to somehow gravitate towards his head and it's going out of box and it's going nice and safe. It's been nice to see the change that Robbo's brought since going back in from his suspension.
It is. It's back to Robbo before we sold him to Birmingham, isn't it? He's stoic. He does the basics correctly and right. And that's two games where we've seen the best of Mark Roberts, and long may it continue. And he is a leader on that pitch, and we need leaders at this moment in time. And on about silly goals we've given away, I don't think I've seen a season watching Barnsley where we've given so many goals to opposition, soft ones, where they ain't had to work to try and score. And whether that's down to coaching, whether it's players' inability to do the jobs correctly, I don't know. But we've seen too many goals given away, also at Oakwell, which has cost us because we've only won 4 at home. When you look what we've won away, is it 10 we've won away from home? It just proves the deficit where we are at the moment. If we could have turned some of those losses or draws to wins, we would have been up in playoffs. We won't be looking over looking to see. We won't be looking up, would we?
No, certainly not. It has been A weird old season, but somewhat similar to last season as well, Craig, because I feel like we've been saying this now for 2 years and it's been chopping and changing with different players coming in and making these individual mistakes. I think start of the season we had Slanina making these mistakes. You look back to last season of Jordan Williams with individual errors on a fairly consistent basis. Obviously last night Corey O'Keefe just selling one short. It feels like it's almost one of those of, yeah, it weren't a great performance barring that first 10, 15 minutes, we seemed fairly in control. Same against Rotherham again, not another great game, but not really bothered too much by them. But then the chance and opportunities that they do create, it's almost like they've not had to do anything because we've done all the work for them. And it's like, go on, just tap this in, tap this in. We're doing our work. Here you go.
Yeah, it's annoying as a fan to watch because you want. I don't know. When I watch a game, I'm like, oh, this player's played amazing. Then they'll do something daft. And it's like, come on, I just want to be able to sit here and go, 1 to 11, you were all absolutely brilliant and flawless. But that's never the case. Like, Humphries, I think, started getting up now. He seems to be annoyed when he's playing. If you try and take somebody on, then he don't get ball past them. He seems to, I don't know, he don't. Before he was chasing ball back down and stuff, he seems to just stop now and just be like, oh, can't bother chasing after that now. And then Corey O'Keefe, I mean, he whips some wonderful balls into the box, but then can't pass to his own keeper. And then we've had Connell, who's played some beautiful balls, but can't seem to pass it 5 yards sometimes. It is that. I've been saying it all season. It's the consistency of being inconsistent. When it's with results and performances, that is where we are. And that is what we're hoping that our manager can breed out of the squad. We need, I mean, you look at, I think that'll perfect what Alan said, the way that Mark Roberts used to play and the way he's played these last 2 games. And that's exactly what he used to play like. Next to Alfie Mawson, you knew Eddie Baldwin in that area and it wasn't getting to their player. It just wasn't because we had 2 good, strong centre backs. I think and Earl and Roberts back there will win every header. I've got no concerns. I think Miles DeJuvigny has got the tenacity to be a fantastic defender. I think he's getting better and better. Barring the red card, of course. I think he's been our most consistent player this season, and possibly behind DKD has been one of the best, but not being the most prominent player that you're going to think of. He's been really good this season because we've had iffy spots from Roberts, we've had iffy spots from Pines, and I think we'd have lost a lot more matches if it wasn't for DeJuvigny being there, because I think he's swept up a lot of their mistakes. So for me, this season, I don't think we're going to get into the playoffs. Just purely for that fact is, I don't know if we're going to win a match or not, because, like you said, we make silly mistakes. We can dominate a game for 90 minutes and concede in 91st. That's just the way that some of our matches go. So, yeah, it's wildly consistent, mate. And like I say, going from one match to the next, I don't know what to expect.
It feels like it's one of those seasons where we have to score 2 to, if we're going to beat a side, we have to score 2 because there will be the obligatory goal that will chip in. I think we're 21st in league for clean sheets this season. So you look at that chance there, you've got to score 2 to get a result against anybody. But yeah, right. Get your thoughts on last night's game down in the comments below. Did you think it was a red card for MDG? I must say, I didn't think it was. If we're getting red cards for that, we might as well make it non-contact in my eyes. Thoughts on the goals that we're giving away and also DKD's brace as well. Right, looking forward then to the weekend when we welcome Lincoln City. So, manager Michael Skabala still been in charge since November 2023 and his first permanent role as a head coach. Sat 13th in the league, 6 points behind us on the same amount of games and 10 points away from the playoff places. So they've had a little bit of a slide over recent weeks as well. Formation 3-1-4-2, top scorer Ben House on 5, and then also Bailey Cadamartri as well, also on 5. James Collins has come in and hit form. Who'd have thought it when you sign an experienced striker? They come in and hit the ground running with 3 goals in 7 appearances. Best player, Podie O'Connor, who I think is out injured, if your source is right, Andy.
I think
And
so.
form 1-1 of their last 6, which is a 3-0 win away at Mansfield last week. And then start back in 16-17 season, Lincoln became the first non-league club to progress to the last stage of the competition, beating Premier League side Burnley, which I'm assuming is the FA Cup or League Cup, in which they went on a bit of a run-in. So, Andy, how would you feel about this one? Because I know you've just been speaking to Jake Tong, the Lincoln City fan. So, you got any insights to share with us? Because it's not an away end, so you don't have to plug it. And tell people to go and watch that instead for once.
This is a way end, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, it was strange being interviewed by him the other way around. Yeah, he says he said that Bailey Cadamartri is injured. He's been injured for a few matches. He thinks that, or he said that Ethan, I'm going to get his spell it, Erahan, or an ex-young player of ours, was a good, strong, talented centre midfield player for them. He thinks he's out injured, and again the lad at the back, O'Connor. I think he said he were injured, but I won't swear to that. I hope he is, because he's a strong, powerful centre half that we don't need to be playing against. We need to be playing against somebody that we can beat in air and what have you. So we better look Powell is out. But we'll see. But again, we're going to come up against Adam Jackson, aren't we? Who's still playing well for them, still strong, and just keep ball away from him. So please for him that he's doing pretty well. But as a team, they've lost 3 out of the last 6. They've won 1 and drawn 2. But out of the last 6 away matches, they've lost 3, but won 2 and drawn 1. So they won at Mansfield 3-0. Which looks good, and then they lose at home to Burton with an injury time goal by Burton. So they're a bit inconsistent as well. Looks at it here and there and everywhere. Drawing with Cambridge, drawing with Wigan, losing at home to Blackpool. But then at home to Peterborough a bit long. Just before that, hammered them 5-1. So I don't like talking about 5-1 with Lincoln, because it came up again. Last year came up again when everything went right for them, and everything that could possibly go wrong for us went wrong for us. So Jake brought it up. I'm going to try and ignore that. So let's see. They're inconsistent as well by the look at it. Like I said, 6 points behind us, same number of games. So they've been up and down. So we'll see, won't we? Ben House, always been a decent player for them, always been tricky against us. And then flipping James Collins, and yeah, it does make a difference signing an experienced striker. I know he's roughly about Mark Roberts' age, I think. So if one's too old, other one's too old, aren't they? You can't have it always. He'll score because he does. It's what he does against. It's what he does anyway. It's what he does against us. Whether it's a direct goal or if it's from the penalty spot after he's flopped down like tumble down Ted, who knows? No way, but he will go down like a good one because it's what he does. I wish we got him though. I just wish we got him.
Yeah, it would be nice because at least then he won't score against us if we did that.
Worth the money just for that.
Yeah. How would you feel about this one? Because obviously, as Andy's mentioned there, probably aside, if we played them before they had this little bit of dip in form, it's one of those games that's a little bit trickier. But as Craig's mentioned so far, it's a good barometer when you sort of look at how inconsistent Rotherham have been this season. And obviously, Northampton being sat down 18th. If we have turned a corner, this is one of those games that you'd be expecting to win. But we are at home, so that's never a good sign either.
It is, and that 5-1 were on 9th of March 2024, so it's just like 12 months ago, isn't it? So,
cheers, Al.
And their last away game, they went to Mansfield, where we go, on 15th, isn't it? And they won 3-0. Biggest thing for us is we've got to put a performance on for fans at Oakwell. and we're going to be without Pines, I think, who's injured, and we're going to be without MDG. So McCarthy's got to come into back three, hasn't he? Yeah. So that's going to be. Is it going to be unsettling, or they're going to work on it this week to get it strong? It's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see where we are, and still we are Luke O'Connell. So it'll still, I reckon it'll still be the same midfield three, Carley, Phillips, and
Johnny Russell.
Well, when you look at him, you don't look at footballer how he strolls around. But what got me as well on last night, well, when we had chances to shoot and we passed it about 5 times before, we've got to be clinical. They've got to have the confidence. And I think they were lacking a lot of confidence last night to try and put that ball in back of net. Just shoot. Have a crack. You never know what's going to happen. Let's have a Saturday afternoon where we can be smiling at 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's just certainly nice. Craig, one of those sides where you sort of look at the individuals in it, and you look at sort of the business in which Lincoln did do, bringing in that experienced striker. You look at James Collins' sort of return already in 7 games, scoring 3. He's almost their top goal scorer after 7 games this season. He's not far off that already. They've not really scoring too many in terms of individual players. It's more the collective that scored that. When you look at obviously Ben House, Bailey Karamatri on 5, it's not like they're putting up double figures at this point in the season, which is almost just as not terrifying but a little bit alarming. Of it seems like they can score from anywhere and anywhere. Anyone can sort of pop up with them goals. It's not like if you just stop one player, you can stop them from ticking.
Yeah, they're a team that's unique in the way that they can score from any predicament. You know, set pieces, open play, crosses. You know, passing into box. I think that their goal is to be very unpredictable going forward, and in the chance creation. And I think having Paddy O'Connell and Sean Ruffin and Jackson at the back have been a steady quartet for them for the last couple of seasons now, and I think having Paddy O'Connor out is probably a good thing for us.
If he is,
Because
I don't think.
if he is, I think he's their key to being to the structure basically, because he's a joke of a player in this league. I mean, he's every time I've seen him play, I've been in awe of him. I think he's been a fantastic player. But yeah, you look at James Collins, you know. He's going to score against us. It's going to happen. So I'm definitely not expecting a clean sheet. 3 goals, you know, since they signed him, near enough same time we signed our striker. He's had 3 goals. Our striker hasn't even had a shot on target yet. So I think that tells you everything you need to know about where the clubs are buying from, you know, or what the expectations are. I'd have bought him in a heartbeat, if I'm quite honest. You know, you say anybody said to me James Collins, I'd be yeah, 12 months or 18 months. 18 months I'd get him. You know, I think you know, the old adage that you used to get is a player's done by the time they're 33, 34. I think the sports science has moved on so much now. You can't say that. Now you're saying 37, 38 is when players are going. Ronaldo's over 40 and he's still going. And he's still scoring at Manchester. It's Abu Dhabi, so you know, it's not the hardest league to score in, but I think you get my point. Players, I think you've got to be analytic. You've got to look at the numbers. Are they slowing down? Have they stopped running? You know, or can you adapt your game to play to a slower striker? You know, get busier players around them. You know, that's the way you've got to do it. You can't just think, oh, we're going to have this player, he's going to fit in flawlessly. Just because we play good football, this striker's going to start scoring. No, they need to have the eye of the tiger. They need to have that fox in the box mentality. And like I say, this Rodriguez is just here, and I don't know if he's got it or not. But I know one thing. I know Collins has. You know, and that comes from past performances, past clubs, and that's over years of watching him play. You know, and I'd rather go with the guaranteed striker than the hopeful one, if I'm quite honest, even if there's an age disparity. But that's just me. But back
most
to
people
Lincoln.
feel that, Craig. Most of
Yeah.
us feel like that, I think.
Yeah. Lincoln, I felt, best time to play them by far this season. I think of the past 2 seasons, they've been a fantastic side to watch. They've been incredibly exciting, bunches of goals. The solidity at the back has allowed them to that. Scabala's been a brilliant manager for them. Jake Tong, I think he's another brilliant guy to have in this sort of space, who's very knowledgeable about different clubs and everything. But we really need to avenge that 5-1 loss. I'm still bitter about that. Um, but it's the best time to play them. They're in the worst form of their season so far, and obviously we need to see if we've turned that corner yet. And I think this is a game which will tell you that, because if we're not up to scratch, they'll take advantage. If we're not good enough, it'll show. Because they're not going to not work hard. They're going to not do what they're good at, which is cause problems. So I'm looking forward to it, to be quite honest.
They've not done
we're
bad
being
away.
at home.
Yeah. Well, they've done all right away from home, haven't they? They've played 17 league games away from home. They've won 5, drawn 6, and lost 6. So they've only lost 6 out of 17. So it's not bad enough. So it's nearly 6-6-6. It's 5-6-6. So the 11 games they've not been defeated out of 17.
So what you're saying, if they do it, it's demonic.
If we beat them, it'll be.
If they beat us, it'll be 6-6-6, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It'll definitely be demonic in my flipping eyes.
With the devil's work.
Oh yes, it most certainly will. Yes.
It's weird hearing.
Don't worry, it'll not happen.
It's weird hearing other teams away form and just thinking no compared to ours.
Yeah.
We just don't bother at home.
Can't we just play away?
The bit about us at home,
and it's better.
The bit about us at home that delightful Jake brought up an hour ago was that we've only won 4 at home, and 2 of them came on New Year's Day and a couple of days after. So all of this season up to New Year's Day, we'd won 2, and then we doubled it within 2 days and then stopped. So it's about time that our fans were able to have something to cheer about and not moan about and groan about.
Well, they're on par with us then, aren't they? We've only won 4 at home.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. We've only won 4 at home.
Yeah. So,
Good evening, Al. Nice you to join us.
10 minutes, all right. I was called in as a substitute.
We're regretting every minute of it, Al. 9 added minutes.
I was called off bench.
Have you even been drinking today?
I can't.
You needed 5 minutes to warm up before you came on. We needed you 5 minutes. Right. Predictions, Craig. What are you going with?
Not a clean sheet. 2-2.
Desmond. Al?
Well, we'll go for a 3 and we'll go for not a 0, we'll go for a 3-1. I'm DKD's on fire. He should have got an hat-trick last night.
Your defence is terrified.
There you are.
There we are. Andy?
If my source is right, they're spine. They're missing a really good striker. I know signed one, missing a really good striker, missing an influential midfield player, although they've still got Sam Clucas, although he's knocking on, is a decent, steady player like Sam Clucas. I've always liked Sam Clucas, whether he were at Hull or at Chesterfield, good, and other clubs, a good player. And hopefully the Connors out and all. So if them 3, the spine, aren't they? If they're out, then I think your naysayers need sorting out. That's it, Al. 2-1, tried and tested. It will be a Collins goal or a Collins penalty that will have given it away and he'll flop down. It won't be a mistake. He'll flop down and nobody will have touched him. So tried and tested, Josh. 2-1.
Let's hope it's Sam clueless.
On Saturday. Probably won't be.
And it's another big week for us, isn't it? Lincoln Saturday, Charlton Tuesday, and then Blackpool at home on 8th. So first week in March is a big week.
When is it a big week for us?
Knowing us, we'll win them. All them. We'll win a lot. We'll all start getting giddy about playoffs again, and then we'll lose at Burton or something.
They'll win them 3 games just to spite us, Craig.
Yeah, that's
just
it.
to flipping spite us. Well, I'll say this to Barnsley players. Go on, spite us. I'd love you to spite us.
I'm going to go You know what? I'm going to go with the prediction that I gave on the Stacey West.
Oh, you can lie on their shows. If it's their show, you can lie.
No,
You
no,
don't
I'm
have
going
to
to
be
go.
honest to them.
No, I'm going to go with it because it's something different to you. I think we'll lose 2-1. I think the
Boo hiss.
I think the missing
Turncoat.
of
It
I
goes on
think
their show. It goes on their fans' show and says we're going to lose. Turncoat.
I just look at the fact that we're missing his most consistent defender of the three, which is I think
Well, he wasn't consistent last night, was he?
it was fine for 80 minutes.
Yeah, well,
Did a sterling job. No, I just think we're gonna.
he had a Roberts moment.
Yeah, it's one of those games when you realise how important MDG is to that back three and the success of it. We'll find
Although I
out
would
as
say,
we
to
go
say they
through.
had 20 minutes, they didn't really bother us that much.
Yeah, because I couldn't keep ball in play. I've never seen a side look.
Yeah.
It was almost like Northampton couldn't wait to move ball forward. That they didn't like the amount of 5-yard passes they just pass out of play. Just it was like I thought watching us. Like, it was just a bunch of choreo key passes on
We're
repeat.
going
I've
back.
never seen a side.
We're going back to reviewing that game now. Then
No, just we missed that bit.
Just tip me.
Now then, for Saturday, lads, point. Do you think Daryl Clark will keep a back three or go to a back four?
Back
Three.
three. Last time we had a four.
Don't do four again, please.
No,
Yeah, I
last time
can't.
we had
No,
four.
no, if it's a back four, I'm walking straight out. I'm gone. You know, I'm going to pub.
Maybe a back two. Robertson, O'Keefe. Just everyone else play forward. Right, get your comment down. No, get your predictions down in the comments below. So, because you have not been doing this for 2 years, I know you've worked hard to say it right way around. Get your predictions down in the comments below. Do you think we can make it 3 wins in a row? Or do you think, not luck's run out, but do you think it'll be a bit more of a tricky game this weekend? There's a lot to weigh up when you look at Lincoln's injuries and also you look at our suspension as well of MDG. And not really. How can we change it as well? Could we get a little bit stale or a little bit tired from playing 3 games in 7 days as well, which is always a little bit of a tricky period to navigate. And we'll be back on Saturday with a reaction outside the ground.
Great to see another Smith with a Barnsley shirt on. Come on.
There you go. That is something to look forward to when we will react to the Lincoln game and also preview Charlton as well. We'll see you there, you Reds.